Good evening, and welcome to today's top stories. We begin with developments surrounding the arrest of Simon Ekpa, a factional leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, who was detained in Finland late last year. 2 of the 5 suspects arrested alongside Ekpa have reportedly been released by Finnish authorities. The individuals, who were detained on November 21, 2024, as part of an investigation into alleged terror-related activities, have been freed, though the reasons behind their release remain unclear. The Finnish government has not disclosed the identities of those released, nor offered an explanation at this time. However, sources confirm that the remaining suspects, including Ekpa, are still in custody. Simon Ekpa, along with his co-conspirators, faces serious charges, including incitement to violence and funding terrorism in Nigeria. Finnish authorities arrested him under suspicion of spreading terrorist propaganda on social media, with a district court in Jotunheim ordering his detention soon after his arrest. Ekpa's detention was part of an ongoing investigation into violent activities linked to IPOB, the separatist group. Nigerian authorities have not been silent on the issue. In a recent development, Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, confirmed that the Nigerian government has formally requested the extradition of Simon Ekpa. General Musa revealed that the necessary documentation had already been submitted to the Finnish authorities, signaling the Nigerian government's commitment to ensuring Ekpa faces legal action for his alleged role in destabilizing the southern regions of Nigeria. The federal government has actually forwarded most of the requirements to the Finnish government, General Musa stated. "So, I'm sure the right thing will be done," he added. While Finnish authorities have not offered further details, they have confirmed that Ekpa remains in detention. Investigations suggest that Finland is cooperating with Nigeria in addressing IPOB's violent activities, which have posed significant security challenges in the southern parts of the country. As the case continues to unfold, both Nigerian and Finnish authorities are under pressure to resolve the legal issues surrounding Simon Ekpa's arrest. We'll continue to monitor this story for any further updates. Stay with us for more breaking news after this short break. Here's the latest development on the ongoing demand for justice and self-determination by the Igbo people of Nigeria's southeast region. In a recent statement, Uche Mefor, the convener of the Igbo Biafra nationalists and the indigenous people of Igbo Nation for Self-Determination, has called for a free and impartial plebiscite under the auspices of the United Nations, aimed at allowing the Igbo people to democratically decide their political future. The Igbo people of Nigeria's southeast region have long faced systemic oppression, marginalization, and state-sponsored violence, according to Uche Mefor. In a passionate appeal, he asserts that it is time for the international community to intervene and allow the Igbo to determine their future, either within the Nigerian state or as an independent nation. Mefor pointed out the gross human rights violations against the Igbo people, including extrajudicial killings, forced disappearances, and systemic ethnic persecution. Despite these injustices, Nigeria has consistently hidden behind the principle of territorial integrity, arguing that the country's borders must remain inviolate. Nigeria's actions, particularly the ongoing violence and marginalization of the Igbo people, have violated fundamental human rights. The principle of territorial integrity is being exploited as a shield to justify atrocities. It's time for the international community to stand up for the rights of the Igbo people and allow them to decide their future through a fair and impartial plebiscite under the United Nations. Mefor also highlighted inconsistencies in Nigeria's application of the territorial integrity principle. He pointed to the Bakassi Peninsula, which Nigeria ceded to Cameroon after an International Court of Justice ruling in 2002, and the autonomy granted to northern Nigeria through the implementation of Sharia law as contradictions to Nigeria's claims of an inviolable territory. These precedents, Mefor argues, undermine Nigeria's insistence on territorial integrity and showcase the selective application of autonomy. If Nigeria can negotiate territorial changes and grant autonomy within the country, it raises the question, why can't the Igbo people also decide their future? The situation in the southeast has grown increasingly dire. Political and economic marginalization, military aggression, and the denial of internal self-determination continue to suppress the voices of the Igbo people. As Mefor stated, The lack of meaningful dialogue leaves the Igbo no choice but to seek a peaceful resolution through a UN-supervised plebiscite. International law supports the right to self-determination. As Mefor emphasized, the UN Charter, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights all affirm that peoples have the right to freely determine their political status. The atrocities occurring in the Southeast also fall under the framework of the Responsibility to Protect, or R2P. This principle obligates the international community to intervene when genocide, war crimes, ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity are being committed. Mefor's call for a UN-supervised plebiscite is a plea for peace and justice. The Igbo people seek a transparent and peaceful solution to the crisis, one that ensures legitimacy and impartiality. The Southeast region, with its rich culture, history, and cohesive community, fulfills the criteria for statehood, as outlined in the Montevideo Convention. The Igbo people are ready for self-determination. Now, they seek the international community's support to ensure their rights are respected.